Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Planet X News. It is November 30th, 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, we have all kinds of things occurring. Oh, my goodness. Hold on one second. It is November 30th, 2018. Let me mute myself.
Hey, Laura Kimball, how you doing?
Yeah.
And Lori.
Anyways, folks, I have Jeff P. here with us tonight, and we're going to be discussing that video from Sweden. I had forwarded the video information over to Jeff late last night, and he did a video on it, and we're going to analyze this a little bit more. And just let me give you a little backstory on the video. I've actually been in touch with the lady that recorded this video over in Sweden. We had a conversation today back and forth on Facebook Messenger, and she speaks perfect English. I believe she's either Portuguese or Brazilian, but she speaks Swedish, Portuguese, and she speaks English. And I asked her if she would mind doing an interview with myself and Jeff P. and Dr. Albers. And, you know, I want to see and I want to hear how she actually felt whenever she saw this. Well, I don't even know what to call it. What do you want to call it, Jeff? I mean, it's not a sundog.
I nicknamed it the triple red sun halo.
Yeah, it's definitely something, brother. It's I've been researching sky phenomenon and chemtrails and cloud formations and weather and Planet X for so many years. You know, I've seen I don't know how many countless pictures of the sundogs, but I have never ever in my life seen anything like that. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do, folks, before we even get into analyzing this video clip. I want to show you guys the photographs that I took from the video. And I didn't do any enhancing other than just applying some filters on some special programs that I have. And I really wanted to see, you know, kind of what was in the background. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll go ahead and pull these up. Just give me a second here. And here we go. We'll just pop this into view so everybody can see that. Jeff, you can see that, right?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, at first, when you look at it with this type of a filter, I don't know exactly what the name of this filter is. I used maybe about a dozen of them, and they're just, you know, one click and it will bring out some detail. And what I was expressing when I did the initial video on this phenomenon that we're looking at is I was more intrigued by the large yellow ball that appears at the very top. And in the other part of the video that we'll take a look at in a few minutes, if you follow my cursor, the sun had already set, or the sun simulator, whatever you want to call it, it had already set below these trees. So again, you know, we have the mystery of, okay, what is up here?
Wow.
So what did you come up with, Jeff? Have you been toying around with the video and the photographs?
Not like you have, but I did look at them and put it up against what it kind of looks like, that beam of light that comes across that, what I'm going to think it's lens. It looks like we see three of them.
Yeah, this has me totally blown away. Well, number one is because I want an explanation. You know, I mean, for people to see something like this in the sky, not just on one day, but on back-to-back days. And that is one of the parts of the conversation that we had this morning. And she said that she saw it 2 days in a row.
Whoa. Okay, that's on the same spot.
Yeah. Same spot, same time.
So I bet the object is right there, but I think it would help us understand what we're looking at if we understand the layers of the the layers of the things that we're looking through to get this effect. That proves there's something there more than just meets the eye, right? I mean, people like, well, how come we can't see these planets? What? Well, I've been saying all along they've been cloaking them, and it was in 2016 in October I discovered there were lenses. So, and then a sun simulator, and so we've got, I think we both agree that there's a lens in front of the simulator, and then I also believe that there's sky lenses also, and there's layers of them.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. There is definitely something that they have up there, and look, folks, there are people that laugh at our theory, but I don't think it's a theory anymore. Over the years, since about 2016, Jeff has dug into this sun simulator, and so have I, and so have many other people. But I think Jeff has done the best work on actually showing and proving that something is definitely up there. And then in the beginning of this year, one of my followers and subscribers, Mr. Gary Garcia, he just happened to be watching the ISS live feed, and all of a sudden, as they were coming into daylight, the whole entire picture turned pink, and he caught a still photograph, and I can show you those photographs in a little bit. And he sent me the photograph, and as I changed up some filters on it, we can clearly see that that was not the sun that was rising as the International Space Station was orbiting the Earth. And Dr. Albers and I wrote a book on it, and you can clearly see that it is a device. It is not the sun. And I just don't understand, with showing that type of evidence, how can someone sit there and tell you that is fake? I mean, Wayne Steiger has captured some phenomenal video footage of a light source actually on the space station. I think, Jeff, didn't you show some of that also?
Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, I could show you some footage from that.
Yeah. We'll get into that here shortly. I want to go through these pictures here real quick.
Right.
And this is just another filter change. That's it. And again, there it is. So, my question is, what is it? How far away is it? What are we actually looking at? Because I don't think that we're actually looking at a real sundog. There's just no way.
Well, I think we've pretty much busted the sundog myth. I mean, we can get into the nature of light. That, first of all, like Clyde Albers had said, and any expert on light, that ice crystals have a diffraction that bounces light in every crazy direction. In order to have a uniform rainbow effect, you would have to have the shape of water, like a rainbow. And in fact, this is not even a rainbow at all. This is like orange.
Yeah, man, it's pretty incredible. And the lady Isma, she did state that when she first saw this, she was turning into her neighborhood and coming back from work, and immediately, she saw it, and she pulled out her cell phone and started to record it. And she said that some fear had actually set in. And what I said on my live stream the other day in the video that I did about this is, people in Sweden and Norway and some of these, these Nordic countries, and people in Alaska and higher elevations, they're more prone to see these sundogs. We see them all the time with people that are skiing in high elevations.
It seems like you said, a high altitude, and I think it's because of the atmosphere that they're in.
Yeah, exactly. And if you live in Sweden, then you probably have seen a sundog or two in your lifetime. So she expressed that she has never, ever seen anything like this before. Never. And then to see it 2 days in a row, well, that just blew her away.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I guess we'll reiterate once again that Planet X was spotted in 1983 with the IRS telescope. That's infrared. It was only visible, not visible with the naked eye. It was visible with a very high-powered, expensive infrared telescope. So we cannot see with the naked eye. We can only really observe its effects.
Yeah, and then shortly after that, IRAS broke down suspiciously.
Right.
I watched
right in the middle of the SDI. Remember the Strategic Defense Initiative?
Yes, exactly.
Billions of dollars was funded, and we stopped flying the space shuttle, and now we're doing weird. They just dropped it.
Yeah, I just did an article. Today, and it's up on the planetxnews.org website, that NASA is now officially in business with 9 companies, and they are staking claims on the moon, and they're going to be commercializing the moon. And it's not a joke. And actually, they listed the 9 companies that are going to be doing these reconnaissance missions to the moon, and one of them is right here in my hometown in Pittsburgh. So we can go ahead and check that article out later on. But they're not messing around. They have something on the moon. They want to get it, and I think they might have to fight some aliens up there.
Yeah,
because I truly believe that all of the evidence that I've seen through David Wilcock and Corey Good, they clearly show huge structures on the moon. So we'll see what happens whenever these companies start getting up there.
Yeah, well, you might want to dig into Project Pegasus, because I think they've been doing and dig into jump rooms with Tesla technology. And it seems to confirm a lot of stuff, mysteries out there. But I follow deep on the Tesla technology, and it's pretty intriguing. There was an instance when Tesla had an accident and had millions of volts travel through his body in a huge plasma field. And in that moment, he said that I saw the past, present, and future like all at the same time. And that inspired him to develop what they call the contained plasma viewing places, where they created a thing called a chronovisor or chronovision. And they've embedded this technology into walls, so you normally wouldn't see it. And it's actually a very cheap thing that they make. It's just these, and it creates this plasma field, and they just literally run into the wall. And these people have they got to be trained not to have any fear. Like, who wants to actually run into a wall? And it's pretty crazy. But they had 6 people come forward saying all the exact same thing from the same thing during the Philadelphia experiments, and how they were basically messing with and viewing with time. Not really changing like we see today, like weird science, if you kill your grandmother, then you all die, right?
Yeah, like the Philadelphia experiment, man, that is some really, really creepy stuff, what they did.
Yeah.
I watched a couple of documentaries on that, and I just watched an interview not too long ago with one of the only living survivors of that Philadelphia experiment. And he said it was an absolute horrifying situation. And they notified the sailors that died. They notified their families that they were killed in action.
Right.
Yeah. But when actuality, they were embedded in the metal.
Yes.
Of the ship.
I think exactly. If you listen to the stories of Project Pegasus, it definitely coincides with the similar experiments that happened in the Manhattan Project. That they had one of his kids that he was going, these 2 kids that were trained up, and they ran through this portal. And in the portal, when they ran through this beam of energy, his buddy, they didn't know that there was a pool of a standing pond of water like those. And because the density was different, his legs just slipped off. So he came forward.
This video footage, man, I'm just watching this on my screen now.
Yeah, I'll stay focused on this.
Yeah, man. I'm just
Oh my gosh. I mean, do you see the three distinct circles in there, right? I mean, you don't just ignore the one circle. I mean, there's three of them.
yeah, this is just really off the wall, man. You know,
Also
I've
noticed how the beam down the middle almost appears to show in between the trees.
yeah, like I was saying in my live stream, let me stop this right here real quick. What I was saying whenever I did the video on this initially, um, if you didn't see this object up here at the very top, and you were just standing here on the street with this view, it almost looks like the roof of the house is on fire. But this is probably either the sun simulator or the sun setting. So again, we're back to what the hell is this?
Well, it
You know?
looks like what we have is the white light, I believe, is from the sun simulator. The yellow light is the light from the true sun. And then we've got the red underneath it, which was probably the object passing on top of the sun.
I think if I would have seen this with my own naked eye, I probably would have went back to drinking again. You know, I definitely would have had to have a few drinks. See, like right here. Let me just stop it. Stop.
Yes.
Let me just back it up just a little
You
bit.
know what? It really makes it more authentic too. The fact that she's in a car, because it's not like photoshopped. It's not moving with the lens. I mean, you know what I mean? It just debunks like any lens flare. The trolls just can't touch that. You know,
Yeah,
I actually had a knucklehead actually tell me it was still ice crystals. I'm like,
well,
really?
look,
You might as well call it a lens flare and swamp gas blown out of, Uranus.
yeah, well, as far as I know, there's no swamp gas in Sweden, and maybe the cooler temperatures, as you can see, it's winter time there. It's cold. There's snow on the ground, but I don't think that is a major factor.
Yeah. Why is it red? There's no explanation for that other than what we are going to say it was all along. Remember, we got Planet X. It's a very highly magnetized planet, and it's attracted iron oxide dust from the centuries of smashing planets, the iron oxide dust leaving its red iron oxide atmosphere. And when the sun shines through it, that's why we get all the red.
Wow, man, that is just one hell of a photograph, one hell of a piece of video.
Dude, how's it going to look like a few months from now when this thing just keeps getting closer? In my video, I said it was on the final approach because, I've been following the Dave Dobbs object. Now, I don't 100% agree with what it is, but there's something to that 200-day orbit because I've been tracking with it on spot on. I mean, the last flyby that was predicted for September 17th, we had on September 10th, 2 super deep earthquakes. You remember those, right?
Yeah.
And now the next one we caught, and before that was March 1st. And you go back to my YouTube channel, I had that record breaking thing I caught on cameras. And now the next one is April 5th. And we're not even there yet. And now we saw that thing in Denver. And now we're seeing this. And then we got a 7.0 earthquake in Alaska.
Yeah, and that earthquake was no joke. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time in all of my days, I've never seen the USGS upgrade an earthquake. It initially came in at a 6.6, 6.7, and then the USGS, they upgraded it to a 7.0, and the damage, I had video clips coming in from subscribers of mine. I didn't realize how many subscribers I actually had in the Anchorage, Alaska area.
Right.
And they were sending me video clips left and right. Now, I posted all of those on the Planet X News Facebook page and my personal Facebook page. Now they're out there all over the place. And that destruction resembles the same destruction as the big New Zealand quake in 2017,
Right.
literally just ripping, gouging, and tearing roads apart. And just yesterday, late last night, I uploaded a video pertaining to the Suswa Rift in Africa. It is widening and it is growing at a tremendous pace. And we'll go ahead and we'll show that video also. And we're not just talking about a few little cracks in the ground.
No, these are miles.
I mean, these are massive openings, and they travel for miles. So there is definitely some very, very serious stress on our planet. And again, folks, if any of you have been following me since 2016 or 2017, I have been going over and over and over this information and trying to inform people about the mechanics about what is happening. If you pay attention, and you will start to understand, the Earth is just made up of a bunch of plates. Maybe at one time the Earth was, maybe one solid rock. I doubt that, though. Nobody truly knows the actual formation of the Earth. But because of these tectonic plates literally float upon our mantle. Seismic activity has always been a part of the Earth. But if you place the Earth under more stress and more internal pressure, you are going to literally pull these tectonic plates apart. And what happens when you pull the tectonic plates apart? You get massive earthquakes, or you get a tremendous amount of seismic activity. Now, if you had an object, for instance, Planet X, this stellar core, there are many of these objects, not just one. There's many, but there is one that is very, very large. I believe this is the one that orbits the sun in this 28-day orbit. It's very, very fast. And if you do research into brown dwarf or dwarf stars and hypervelocity stars, you will see that these objects have a rotational speed that is so intense, so fast, you can't even fathom it. You're used to, the Earth rotating in 24 hours and making its way around the sun in 365 days. And then you think, okay, well, this Planet X object, it's making its way around the sun in about 28 days. Well, that is the rotational pattern of the sun. The sun rotates every 28 days. Folks, take a look at the coronal hole situation on our sun for the last 3 years. All of these coronal holes are opening up as they come around from the left side, and they all end up Earth facing. And again, I've explained this many times before. When these coronal holes open up, the Earth is subjected to the sun's so-called solar wind. Those heavily charged particles, they do penetrate everything. They penetrate all the way down to the Earth's core. Now, it does take a few days, but once that internal pressure starts to heat up, then what happens? We get the earthquakes. And we've seen extensive seismic activity increasing for quite a long time now. And it's not going to stop. It's actually going to get worse. So everything that myself and Jeff have been preaching about for the last 3 years, it's all happening. We are now living in this matrix. It's not make-believe. It's not a fairy tale like some people say, oh, the only place you see Planet X is on YouTube. Well, look, go bury your head in the sand and keep on thinking that way. And as time goes on, you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be scared shitless, and you're not going to know what to do. You're not going to know why these things are happening. So I've done extensive research over all of these years, many, many years. And, I kind of sit back and I listen to some of these other people that are just now getting into this, and they think that they have all of the answers when in fact they have absolutely no answers. None, zero, zilch. Look, it's okay to follow whoever you want to follow, but if you truly want to learn what is happening, stick around here at Planet X News, follow Dr. Claudia Albers, and pay attention to what Jeff is showing you. Jeff's no dummy. He's a very highly educated man. Myself, Dr. Albers, we've been investigating this for a long time. And you do have to incorporate the science into this. You're just not going to learn it in a day. But what we're seeing here, I don't know, Jeff, it's still blowing my mind. And, and I've seen a lot, but I've never seen anything like this.
Yeah, that's never seen it before. And you said it's only getting worse. And I can only anticipate how much crazier things are getting, and things that I predicted that was happening from my own observations, such as the pink skies that I noticed were first flashing for like 10 minutes, now lasting in small sections, now taking out the whole sky for an entire day.
That's how Dr. Albers first started making her observations. Whenever she would get done teaching at the university and she would get home and unwind, she used to go out and she used to take walks. And, that was her pattern for many, many years. And then all of a sudden, she started noticing these pink cloud formations and these bright magenta pink skylines. And, as a highly trained physicist, she understands light. And a lot of people think that she's never studied astronomy. Well, you're absolutely wrong, because Dr. Albers wanted to be an astronomer. Even at the age of 9, her parents bought her the first book that she requested on astronomy. By the age of 12, she built her own telescope, okay, at the age of 12. The only reason why she got into physics is because the university that she was attending did not have an astronomy curriculum at the time. And she is a very, very, very highly trained physicist. I joke with her all the time. Matter of fact, 2 days ago, we were having breakfast, and I said, you know what I want to do? After watching the scientists on the JPL live stream about the new launch to Mars and the new Mars lander, I said, these people seem like freaking bozos. I want you, Dr. Albers, to submit a resume and an application to NASA and the JPL. I just want to see what their reaction would be, because her credentials can put her in employment with NASA and the JPL and the Goddard Space Center instantaneously.
Yeah.
And she's actually worked on projects. I mean, she's been on Wayne Steiger's show a couple times talking about, things that she's worked on. So when the lady tells you things that she absolutely knows about astronomy, it's not that she's just, reading it from a book or an article. No, she is a highly trained scientist, and she does know what she's talking about. And it's only been over the course of the last year that she's been here in the United States that she now has the freedom to express her theories and express her science. See, whenever you're a professor and a teacher and you are locked under academia at a university, you just can't go out there and say whatever the hell you want to say. But now, she's free of all of that, and she can express her theories. Not everybody's going to agree with them. A lot of people may not even understand it. But for you to just say that, oh, this piece of video that you're looking at is fake. Oh, it's a sundog. Oh, it's ice crystals. My God, that goes back to the early trolling days, Jeff, where they were saying, oh, that's a lens flare. Oh, that's nothing but a lens flare.
A lens flare. That's all it is. He's such an expert. Good thing that they studied the College of Knowledge.
Yeah, right.
Brainwashed garbage that they've been feeding us garbage this whole time.
Yeah, that comes right out of the troll handbook.
Yeah, just a troll handbook. The typical troll answer is just whatever they think that people are going to believe. It's amazing how stupid they think we really are.
Yeah.
And some people, they don't do their own investigation. They'll just take the first answer and go, oh, okay. The mirror all just said so. It must be true. And even though it defies their own science.
Yeah, it's very easy to just sit there and say that is fake and not give any explanation. So I don't have any respect for people that make those type of comments. If I see a comment like that, normally I think you're an idiot.
Not only that, but you can go to you can visit their channel and they either got no substance to their channel whatsoever. The one I like, I guess we could talk about trolls all night. It's some funny ones. They always have there's I've been a photographer for 50 years and I see that all the time. I'm like, really? 50 years, huh?
Yeah. Speaking of going to their pages, I was checking out Isma's page, the lady who took these 2 video clips. And the reason why I went to her Facebook page and I checked it all out is I wanted to see maybe, if she was a space buff, maybe she researched chemtrails, maybe she researched Planet X, sky phenomenon, whatever. And going through her Facebook page real quick, she has absolutely nothing on her Facebook page other than, just your everyday run-of-the-mill personal stuff. And that's it. So it's not like she went out there and purposely faked this video and put it up there. And if you checked out the comments under the original video, the people are absolutely blown away. And these are personal Facebook friends of hers.
Yeah.
And they live in Sweden. So, not ever seeing anything like this. And you're driving down your street and all of a sudden this pops up, no wonder she stopped her vehicle.
Yeah. Excuse me. Weird stuff. And people take pictures of it because something is not normal. So, hey, you want to show some more footage of the lenses or something? Cause we got some cool stuff to show people.
Yeah. You want to go ahead and take over. Let me get out of this.
All right.
And I will boot you up. It is all you, buddy.
All right. So I get the desk share up.
Go ahead and you got the screen there. I'm going to go grab my cell phone. It was on the battery charger there. I'm going to grab it real quick.
All right.
You could talk away.
Whoop, hold on. It'd take me a second to get this page going.
Go ahead. I'm going to grab my phone.
Talk. Here we go. I think this one here is kind of a summary of everything I've done for the last couple of weeks. So we have to.
Okay, I'm back.
Hold on. I'm trying to get this thing to show the whole screen here. There we go. Okay, so we already saw this footage, right? So we don't need to play that again. But I'm going to skip ahead to... Can you see the screen, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let me fast forward. We have this footage here. So, remember, this is my usual footage. I captured this lens system over the... let me speed this up.
Turn my volume down.
There we go. All right, so we show the lenses here, right? That was my discovery back in August of 2016. And so let's check this one out from BD Cave Dweller. Now, I caught this a while ago, and I never bothered making a big mention of it because there was so many hot topics that kind of fell by the wayside.
Yeah, I watched this video today of yours, and I was pretty blown away by that.
Yeah, look how he just like stares at it. Watch what happens to the sun. And what we see is watching how it's turning from like a white to like a red, and then and look how it even messes with the focal length of the camera just before it pops. Actually, we already missed that little pop that it did. Might have to go back and show that again. Yeah, and this was actually played live. This wasn't even time lapse, so it was pretty cool. We're going to start to see the ring around this lens appear. What was interesting too, that it actually popped out. Let me see if I can. Where is that thing? Okay. See at this point where the sun looks like it just about sets.
Yeah.
And then it just like pops up back on the horizon, like falls up. I think at that point it drops behind the lens and appears to be projecting above the horizon. And then it drops back. And then that's when the strange stuff. Should have had this on a thing where I can scroll back and forth, and you can see where it popped back up above the horizon.
That's strange.
Yeah. And then we see the little ring here. I'm going to fast forward. It's playing too slow. And then this was shown to me by another subscriber. And here we're showing a pop up like that again. It does kind of look like the Fresnel lens. Remember the Fresnel lens that we saw those pictures of it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And then this was the morphing one as well. We had previous videos of this as well. That was completely crazy. It actually goes to a yellow from white to red.
Remember back in 2016, whenever we discovered the Fresnel lens, how bad we got trolled for like 9 months.
Oh, because they knew it. We were onto something, man.
Exactly.
Now, this one here is a heavy troll. Actually, they didn't even touch this one. Somebody said something horizontal artifact on the lens or something. I'm like, what I noticed, look how the light is like even off the cliff when it comes across this sea cliff. And I showed how it traversed across at different arcs on different days. I went against 3 different days. And we're going to see one point where we can freeze frame it, stop the camera. I'm going to zoom in and freeze it in this video so you can see it real clear. For a moment in time, you can see the light at right angles. There was a day or on a different day, see how it flashed between the clouds at X?
Yeah.
And then this one, look, you can almost see like something glowing above it. I showed like the whole top part of the house was glowing on a different day just before it popped up.
I mean, that looks like somebody literally shining a spotlight from a higher altitude.
Yeah. Well, remember, this is the ocean. There's nothing but ocean out to the side of this.
Yeah. What was the troll explanation? A horizontal what?
Oh man, it was some kind about a horizontal something like. I don't think so. What do you guys think? You see clear, obvious right angles. So, wow. and then that one where I caught it. At first, I saw this. You see that ghost-like image, the thing wisping across the thing. Okay, I've heard it's someone's breath. It was vape smoke. It was a cigarette. I mean, you just can't believe it. There was hoaxers behind with mirrors. I mean,
oh my God.
I get, okay, what cigarette smoke, what breath would spiral down and up? Smoke and vapor goes up. It's like they're talking about grabbing at straws, man. It's the most pathetic thing ever.
Well, that's usually what they'll do to try to discredit you.
Yeah.
You know.
Let's see if I had better footage of that. If I can pull this up. Sometimes I archive it in my own collection. You saw the did you ever see that one where I showed the what was it? Oh, the whole mountain in Yakima, Washington was coming off the side, like splitting off.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was what earlier this year.
Yeah, that was crazy, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah. What the hell is it called? Rattlesnake Mountain.
yes, Rattlesnake Mountain or Mount Rattlesnake Ridge, I believe.
Yeah, Rattlesnake Ridge. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if Washington starts getting some earthquake activity going on, that whole entire mountainside is going to come down, and it already has a massive crack going from the bottom all the way up over top of it and down the other side. They've already evacuated all of the people that live below it. They've already condemned the houses because they know eventually it's going to come down.
Oh, should I get these guys a sneak preview of that leaked footage from NASA?
Yeah.
Okay.
The more the merrier.
All right. So I didn't touch on this topic because it was so epic of a shot that it was so authentic. I don't talk too much about the sun simulator unless we got something that's just absolutely mind blowing. I'm not going to show another hexagonal sun. Okay. But what we're going to see is this part of the pond actually working. Are you all ready for this? So I was given permission to share this, so I believe it's legit. And if you don't, I got to say this. Is it real? And if it is, and if it's not what you think it is, what was it used for?
What is it? Donnie of Daytona.
The Daytona. Yep. So he shows different angles of it, and definitely give this guy the credit. And here we go. So I believe this is the look at. He shows all the angles of this thing. It looks like it's on some kind of a. Let me speed this up. So he was theorizing that there were solar cells behind it, but I don't think so because there's never at any one point in time that there's actually light shining on the back of this thing. It shows like that's like off right there. And wait do you see the back of this thing?
There's our honeycomb grid.
Yep. And then there is it lit up. Looks like it's in space. It was again, if this is not the sun simulator, what was it?
Oops.
And where is it? And I want to see recent footage of it. Because that certainly seems to fit the dimensions and power.
Absolutely. 100%.
And it appears to be the power from this is not directly coming from that. There it is lit up. Should I pause that? Because that's pretty freaking epic.
Where is that coming from? The space station?
It does look like the space station. Again, you tell me. You can just say that's CGI. That's a lot of work to go through CGI.
No, that's not CGI. Look, I've seen enough CGI.
Exactly.
I'm so sick and
that's
tired.
Not the sun simulator. You tell me what it is.
Yeah, listen, man.
What is NASA doing with that?
I'm so sick and tired of assholes on fucking YouTube and Facebook with their bullshit. Oh, that's CGI. Listen, they don't even know what the hell CGI stands for.
I know what people say, like, people have called it's CGI when I show stuff from addictedsports.com website in Germany. I'm like, how did I do that?
Yeah, they're complete idiots. These are just nothing more than the stupid little government trolls and the pimple-faced grown adult men who still live in their mommy's basement. Okay.
So this is your reward for going as you got first. You saw it here first. If you didn't see it on Daytona's video, we give each other credit, for these discoveries. So it was leaked to him on a small channel. I think it looks very legit. It seems to fit the dimensions of it. It looks like it's in space. Even the size of it, what I projected this thing would be, is supposed to be about the size of a tennis court, and it looks about accurate.
Well, you remember the photograph that Mr. MBB333's subscriber sent in from South Dakota.
Right, from the clouds, right?
Yeah, showing the same identical hexagon
right
object. I
what's happening is those are going through there's a cluster of lenses in front of this lens array that look almost similar to this. And each one of those will like basically project multiple images that we saw on the MP3 channel.
Mm-hmm.
There it's off. You can look at it. And
that's epic right there, man. That's epic.
Yeah, that's pretty freaking epic, man.
Yeah.
Hope you guys are all appreciating this. You want to know? I think that's it. That's not Hollywood production. Why would they? You know, they'll try and debunk it. They'll never give up. They'll never.
Yeah, listen to this. Okay, I had an individual emailing me like crazy. Altogether, he sent 59 emails trying to discredit me and change my mind that we cannot build anything in space. And I only responded to 2 of the emails because they were absolutely so pathetic. And like we just said a little while ago, if you don't remember all of the space shuttle missions back in the 80s, the reason why they built and designed the space shuttle like they did was because it had the massive cargo bay. And why were they sending up flight after flight after flight after flight? Is because they were building the damn space station. So they have the technology to build things in space. And frankly, from an engineering standpoint, it's not that hard. So if you pre-build the components here on ground, on the Earth, and you fly them up into space, you release them, and what? How heavy are they? Can you manipulate these large objects? Of course you can.
Right. Did you watch this video? This part?
No.
Yeah, this was sent to me. This is from Drawback, actually. They were mispronouncing it right. But in this article, mystery, it suddenly happened. A bit of strangeness with a trampoline, and it had burned the furniture, these little pads, and it burned the trampoline. Just keep playing. But I want to keep iterizing. It happened suddenly. So if this was suddenly, why didn't this happen like the day before or all the decades they've had that furniture and these star pattern appeared?
Wow, look at that.
And they found that was and the guy comes out, and go to my video. I had the links in there. Now here's the shields that come out, and look what it did to the padding on the trampoline. You see the melted?
Wow.
And it burned it there. Do you think that could be part of the California fires? Absolutely.
Now that's outdoor furniture, correct?
Yeah. And look at that shower. Just pause. Stop. Oh, what do you think that distance is right there? 50 feet? 60 feet?
That's a second story. That's probably about 30 feet.
From the next neighbor. Okay. So do you think that, do you think that it's just ridiculous explanation. So they'll just keep playing. I skipped to the head. I don't play the whole thing. So they discovered it was actually coming from that window, and it was right in line with that trampoline. So it was definitely hitting it. So they know that. My question is, why was it sudden?
Yeah. Why all of a sudden,
talking about all
these years, it just
intense beams of spinning light that passes over for a very short period of time, like about 2 weeks. And then I'm going to skip forward. Oh, there was MB3 where people's feet were burning. This guy's helmet burned in a 15-minute bike ride.
Yeah. See, Dr. Albers actually did a report on this guy's helmet.
Right. And then, so I guess I didn't play it, but I did in one of my other videos, that the heat of the sun bowed out and flexed out that window in the shape of a lens and basically cooked it. And that was it. It expanded it in the shape of a lens. That's pretty funny.
Now that you're showing the sun halos, let's get into that subject matter for just a few minutes. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, in all of my years, I've traveled all over the world. I've been in almost every single state in this country. I've been to Caribbean islands. I've been everywhere. My career before used to take me all over the place. And I've never, ever, ever seen a completely circular sun halo until the last couple of years. And now people are seeing them all over the world. I have captured them myself many times. This past summer, I was taking pictures of sun halos outside of my office every day, to the point where, okay, it's boring now. So people are kind of getting used to these unusual sky phenomenons because what? They're seeing them constantly. So it's kind of like, okay, they're pre-programming everybody. Okay, you see a sun halo. Well, whenever you are seeing sun halos everywhere around the world on a daily basis, but yet you haven't seen any of this for your entire life, maybe once, maybe twice. So do you see my point?
Yeah. Did I show you this one, Scott? You can see my screen still?
Yeah. Go ahead. I see it.
Okay. This was taken in a single shot. Okay. I left the camera on. This is one pass under the sun. Okay. I think it goes around the sun like 17 times, right? So watch this. You guys all see that halo clear as day, right? And now watch what happens when the sun transitions past this point right here, which appears to be like one of these lenses. Watch what happens. You see how suddenly like it got light out? But if you're not convinced, it's from light to suddenly dark. Poof.
Yeah.
You see that. Now, here's where it gets extra weird. And how many people look at this and never think everything's normal, right? Like you were saying, you see it rise and fall. That's what we think is the sun. But watch what happens. This is where we saw it rise. Watch where we see it fall about an hour later in the same footage. Watch this. And we see it. Do you see something different? Where's the halo?
Yeah.
Why is it so bright?
Yeah. And now it looks like it's right on top of the earth.
Right. And then we watch it set. You see that beam of light? Doesn't that look familiar, what we just got through looking at for the first 30 minutes of this video?
Yeah, I recorded this video also. I captured this from the ISS, and I sent it over to Wayne Steiger, and he was pretty thrown back by it himself.
And and you got like thousands of viewers stare at this thing every single day, and no one even like acknowledges that.
Yeah, they just don't get it.
Right? I mean, you get it, right?
Oh, I do get it, man. I've been on the tail of this thing for years now, and
tell me that doesn't look like our sun halos right there.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So we got something in front of it. And then my classic one, right? This is one where I think shook the internet. We watched this thing turn off and on. Now you tell me, where's the light coming from?
Yep. And you see the exact pattern that you're showing right there. I'm going to show you guys.
I think we pieced this thing together, almost seeing like the arm of that thing that Donnie showed. We're staring right at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys the.
Go ahead, take over the screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you guys the actual photographs that we captured from the International Space Station, and you are going to see beyond a shadow of a doubt that what you're seeing on the International Space Station when they show you the sun rising, you're not seeing what we refer to as the real sun. You're actually seeing the mechanical device. And I'm going to go ahead and let me go ahead and just pull this up first.
Okay. You got the screen, right?
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and pull these up because you know, this really shook me when Gary sent me the original video clip, and immediately NASA cut the feed. So he was able to get 6 seconds of video before they cut the feed. And just let me get, I'm getting the photos now.
Right. I'm gonna mention real quick that I had posted, I believe in all my heart that it actually has been weaponized. And in a video, I did some research and discovered that in 2016, before the directed energy weapon attacks in Napa, near Napa Valley, what do they call those fires? What was the name of it? Santa Rosa fires. That PG&E brokered a deal with NASA, and the deal was they had put billion-watt energy microwave solar collectors in space, and it was sending microwave energy up to 35,000 kilometers to the Earth onto an array, a field of what they call rectennas in where was that park? Dang, it's out towards Las Vegas. There's a desert out there going out towards Las Vegas, not Los Alamos, but
what, Death Valley?
Near Death Valley, there's a Mojave.
Oh yeah, Mojave Desert. Yeah,
there was they had it out there. Okay, and in the deal, you can read it on the paperwork. I had it in my old video. They were going to move that array and move it up to, guess where? Sebastopol. Now I want to think about that for a minute. So they've got a satellite dish collecting energy, converting to microwave power. They were already beaming it successfully to what was that desert again? I called it Mojave Desert. They moved it to Sebastopol. Now, Truth Info, he does a video, and he found out that that's exactly where they moved it. So now they've got this array. So my point is, if they can take a microwave beam of power and point it that far to the north with that kind of power, what can they do with that kind of energy?
Well, I'll tell you what they can do with that kind of energy. They can zap whatever the hell they want.
Right. 1 billion watts of microwave power. That is insane. That's like just focus.
Yeah, that's just yeah, that's not good, man. That's pretty bad.
They were hiding the death count too. I was watching that. So sad.
Yeah, that can fry anything. You know, that's just incredible. I'm going to show you guys these photographs of the sun simulator. Let me go ahead and share my screen real quick here. And
oh yeah, I've seen that one. I think, do you believe those are lenses we're looking through, doesn't it?
Yeah, this was actually a still photograph taken from the 6-second video clip that Gary was able to capture before they cut the feed. But here's the thing, folks. Okay, pay very close attention to this. Watch my cursor from the left. What you're looking at here is the bottom of the Earth. The bottom. Here. See this? That's not the lens there. That's the actual bottom of the Earth. So when the hell does the sun rise from the bottom of the Earth? Now, this photo has not been touched in any way, shape, or form. With what Jeff just showed you on the end of that mechanical arm on the International Space Station, lighting up, shutting off, lighting up. Look at the pattern. It's the same identical pattern. But what really gets you is this octagon or hexagon shape that's on the inside. So how is that the sun? I mean, let's be realistic here.
Yeah, you know what? I've actually saw the video on that, and you could actually watch those lenses like would appear to be changing their focal length.
Yeah.
Like they were messing with like the zoom on it.
Now this might hurt your eyes a little bit, but I put this, I analyzed that piece of footage, and I took a lot of screenshots from it in high definition, and I wanted to expose what is out there. And again, I mean, you can clearly see that there is a geometric shape in here. So my question is again, how can that be the sun? And this round circular object right here, I measured it with an engineering program, and it's not perfectly spherical. It's like a round rubber ball, and you put pressure on the top of it, so you're kind of squishing it. So it's not at equal lengths from here to here and here to here. So it's not completely spherical. So let's take a look at another photograph in a different filter. Now this one just really gets you, and it really brings out the detail. And here you can see there is a geometric shape. It's perfect.
Hexagonal.
So again, how can you claim with any intelligence whatsoever that it is impossible to have a sun simulation device in our upper atmosphere out there where the space station is, 250 to 300 miles above the Earth's surface?
Yep. Now, I got to reiterate that many people try and debunk this by saying that how can that generate enough heat to heat the whole Earth? It's not heating the Earth. It's only light. The real sun is still there and it's still heating the Earth. What we have is an absence of light, and this is a supplement to that missing light.
Yeah.
So
now, in this photograph,
you feel focused, like very focused burning heat, but it's not an even steady heat that we used to feel.
Yeah, it's a focused heat.
Yeah, you'll feel it burn one spot. You won't like warm your whole skin gently. It's focused.
Now, in this photograph, you can actually see there's a line right here. And what this reminded me of was an umbrella opened up, and you're looking at it from the top. So you know how an umbrella has its little spokes. You can clearly see one. I'll bring it in real close. You could see one here. You could see the 90-degree angles. And again, this was supposed to be the sun rising at the bottom of the Earth. And that is why once this popped up, in 6 seconds, NASA cut the feed.
As usual.
For no reason.
Yeah.
Here you go. Now, I did some work on this one, and there you go.
See, and I think that's part of the reason why it appears to have a square sun as well.
Yeah.
And look how similar that is to those sundogs.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
And here's something else that I've been thinking about for the last 2 years is I truly believe that they had, let's just say, quote, the old sun simulator, the one that that we've shown since 2016 when we found the patents. But I think that over some time, over the course of the last couple of years, I think they've actually built another one. Because let's just take a look at all of the rocket launches. They're claiming, oh, we're putting up 10 more GPS satellites. We don't need 10 more. Oh, we're putting up, more satellites for communication.
Well, we already know that the Chinese are working on a star, and it's basically what they're calling cold fusion, but I call it BS.
Yeah, actually,
they're not going after zero energy, but they call it the Star Project in the Germans, and it's basically it's self-contained plasma that's extremely bright but cheap to produce.
Yeah, Dr. Albers, she was on Wayne Steiger's show, I think last week, and they were talking about the artificial moon and this artificial sun that the Chinese are working on. And she did an article on it, and she actually helped work on a project that was similar. And she said, no matter what, it will fail. They can only maintain that internal heat for a few seconds before it literally melts itself. So we'll see what they come up with. But again, here is another filter change. And I'm going to bring that right into your face so you guys can clearly see that these are right angles. This is a hexagon, octagon shape. Yeah. Debunk that.
Like you said, once you see it in space and you matched it in your eye, you checking out those sun halos, when it dawned on me, when I saw the halo first, I thought it was a planet, but then I noticed it didn't eclipse. You know how you watch an eclipse? Like you see a spherical object slowly pass. Instead, what we see is the entire halo just appears like the focal length of a lens.
Yeah, there's nothing, man. There's something not right up there, and I don't care what anybody says. I've been looking at this information now going on 3 years, and there's no doubt in my mind with all of the new drops that have just come out over the last couple of days pertaining to climate change, artificial moon, artificial sun, and now they're claiming that we need to do stratospheric aerosol injections to keep the warmth on our planet. Well, stratospheric aerosol injections, aka chemtrailing. I mean, come on, man. We've been getting chemtrailed to death for years and years. I was uncovering chemtrailing back in 2005. And then in 2010, Facebook, I was putting what I was finding all over Facebook in 2010. And I woke up one day, went to pull up my Facebook page, and Facebook terminated it.
Wow.
Yeah, just terminated. I had to start a whole new Facebook page. And then, you get into the chemtrailing, and the facts are the facts.
Yep.
They're not going to just start stratospheric aerosol injections. I've been reading about that for the last 2 years. So what I'm trying to say, folks, is these are soft disclosures. Okay. They know that more and more people are looking up. They're seeing very, very strange things in the sky. And people like myself and Jeff P. and many, many others, we're actually bringing the information out to the masses, and you people are the masses, and you guys out there are in big numbers. So if you have millions of people, tens of millions of people now photographing sky phenomenon, what they see, and then putting it on social media and YouTube, well, that network starts to spread like a spider web. So they don't have a choice. And we know damn well that over the course of time, governments around the world are pretty damn good at their soft disclosure. So they've dropped a couple of bombshells over the last couple of days. And this whole thing about climate change is a complete farce.
Yeah, we know that's a hoax. What we have is extreme weather.
Yeah, man. I think that we are in I think we're in some serious trouble as far as our climate goes. I think we're in big trouble.
Yeah, I think what's happening is we're definitely, you know what? Here's a true story. I got a pear tree in my backyard. And for 2 years, I was able to, you guys might have this out here too. You can just go back and read the comments of people like this. But the pear trees in the first 2 years, I was able to eat a pear off of it. It actually ripened and it was very tasty. Now, going on 3 years in a row, that it just stays yellow and then just burns and it never ripens.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Because
that is a fact. And you guys, if you got fruit trees like that, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because earlier this summer,
spectrum of light, and that's the problem.
Yeah, earlier this summer, I was over my best friend's house, and he has a few apple trees, and he has a pear tree in his yard, and he said the same thing, and he knows what I document. And he said, "Listen, I want to show you my fruit trees in the back." He said, "I don't know what the hell's going on with them. They're all dead." And I said, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You got to come check this out." And Dr. Albers was with me, and we went back there, and we were looking at their 5 trees, and they're in a perfect line. And they do get where his house is situated. There's no other blocking of sunlight. They're wide open. And for many years, he's picked the pears, picked the apples, and so on and so forth. And they've always been beautiful. And it's just been over these last 2 years that they just literally cook on the tree. And
Exactly.
they're just garbage. And Dr. Albers picked one off.
Yeah, I mean, just look at these comments. Just stop and think, people. If you think there's any kind of a hoax behind this, including you chills out there, or do you question, like, look at, it's burning people's gardens. The solar lights aren't charging. I mean, I hear this stuff all the time. People promise their solar collectors that they put on because, PG&E, put some solar cells, and they're not getting the promise that they said they were going to get. So they're not even getting the light production they thought they would get. So there's a lot of side effects, because as human beings, we're actually supposed to get the full spectrum of light. It's not healthy. So that sun simulator is not giving us full spectrum by any means.
Yeah, it's definitely damaging crops. I don't know, folks, if you've noticed over the course of the last 2 years, the size of the fruits and vegetables that are available in your grocery stores. I wanted to make some halushki, which is, cabbage and noodles. And I went to buy a head of cabbage. Growing up as a kid, my grandmother used to make it all the time. And I remember heads of cabbage the size of a volleyball.
Right.
Okay. Huge.
I think that might be part of the cause for the bee die-offs. Remember that?
Exactly.
So the plants, because they're not getting all the light, they're freaking killing off the bees too.
Yeah. So the sizes of these fruits and vegetables are so small. So the other day I went to go make my detox drink, and I drink it once a day. It's a combination of freshly squeezed lemon, freshly squeezed lime, some ginger root, some garlic, and distilled water, and blended. It's an absolutely powerful detox, fat burner, and like an energy drink. And when I went to Walmart, I picked up a bag of lemons and a bag of limes. The limes were the size of like a little bit bigger than a golf ball. And the lemons weren't much bigger.
Uh-huh.
So whenever I went to buy the cabbage was no bigger than a softball, like a little bit bigger than a baseball. I had to buy 3 of them.
Little, just under the size of like a soccer ball or something,
Yeah, man, it was very, very, very small. Now, you will see some fruits and vegetables out there that seem to be quite large. But, are they doing some modifications to some of these fruits and vegetables to make them grow? Because, I'm seeing vegetables that are just tiny, very small. In when I had my Italian restaurant, I used to get cases of romaine lettuce from a private farm near me. And the heads of romaine lettuce were massive. I mean, they were massive. Go buy some romaine lettuce in the grocery store now. Okay. If you buy hearts of romaine like I do, you can pull one out of the bag and it's enough for just one salad. Meaning that look how small the vegetables are. So there is definitely something that's not right up there in our skies. And I noticed that we have my friend Jake Riley from the Grand Solar Minimum YouTube channel. And if you guys really want to start digging into what's occurring with the Grand Solar Minimum, click on Jake's avatar there and get over there, subscribe to the Grand Solar Minimum, because this is going to be another huge problem for our planet.
Yeah, that's a secondary purpose for the sun simulator, because not only they're hiding unexpected solar eclipses, but we are missing light. And as the sun is steadily dimming out, they're cranking up that sun simulator. I have never seen this X pattern in my life.
I know, right?
I mean, we know it's been there since the 80s. So why is it happening now? So you know that this thing's cranked up as hard as it can get. And I think that was the year of the sundogs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
So can anybody explain to me, what this umbrella looking shape is? I mean, I don't know. Let's be honest, man. I'm going to show you some more here real quick. Some freaky deaky stuff.
Don't do your achy breaky heart, man. Don't.
Yeah, my achy breaky heart. And this is what we were taking a look at earlier when Jeff was showing the video clip from Donnie of Daytona. So this is actually what was on the end of that mechanical arm, and this photo capture right here was sent in from one of Mr. MBB333's subscribers when he was out on vacation in South Dakota.
Yep.
And he was snapping a few photographs of a rock monument, and it wasn't until a year later, I think, that he was going through his pictures on his computer, and he noticed this little tiny shimmering dot up in the sky. Yep. So he zoomed in on it and zoomed in on it, and lo and behold, well, there you go.
It kind of looks like the same thing, doesn't it? It looks almost identical.
Exactly like it, dude. Exactly.
Now we know. What is that guy, Ray Harvey? The rest of the story.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like putting pieces to the puzzle, putting pieces of the puzzle together. And slowly but surely, we're uncovering all of this. And once Dr. Albers and I published our 2 books related to chemtrails and the sun simulator, it was on June 1st of this year that the 2 FBI agents showed up at my front door at 6:00 in the afternoon. And, they were knocking on the door, nice and polite. And Dr. Albers answered the door, and they identified themselves as FBI agents. They showed their badges and their credentials, and they asked if they could speak with us. And I knew exactly what they wanted, and I invited them to come on in. And they sat us down, and we listened to what they had to say. And they said that they've been watching my YouTube videos, and they've read all of the books that we've published. And the one agent stated that, both of you are really pissing people off at NASA and the European Space Agency. Well, he used the initials ESA. And I just chuckled and laughed. And I said, so what? And he said, well, you're really raising some eyebrows. Can I give you some advice? And I said, sure. What's your advice? And he said, look, why don't both of you stop writing books and just get off of YouTube? Do something else. And I said, okay, maybe we'll take your advice, maybe not. And they left. And then 4 weeks later, he had given Dr. Albers his business card with his cell phone on it. 6 weeks later, we published I think it was our 7th book. And I called him up from my cell phone. And I said, how you doing? This is Scott Sion. He said, hey, how you doing there, Scott? And I said, I'm doing pretty good. I just wanted to let you know that Dr. Albers and I just published our 7th book. You might want to pick yourself up a copy. And he just started laughing. And he said, is that all that you have to say? And I said, yep, that's it. That's all I have to say. So, how many of you Planet X investigators out there have had the FBI come to your house and try to intimidate you? And not really threaten, but, they thought that their presence was going to scare me. Yeah, It didn't scare me at all. It just actually motivated me.
That's a good story, man.
Yeah. True story, bro. True story.
Oh, yeah. What else was in? Oh, yeah. We did talk about the super blood moon coming up on the 25th, right? Or 21st.
Yeah. There's a lot of blood moons coming up.
It just happens to be the presidential anniversary day.
Yeah. I want to get into that, the Bible prophecy that you were talking to me about before.
Okay. I was going to, we've been talking for so long. I didn't pull up the articles on it, but maybe on the next stream, but I'll kind of get to the crux of it. We had two significant dates that happened in the recent past. These are just dates. I'm not setting a day. I'm not talking about an hour. These are just historic dates. So there was Suleiman, the prince, the king, the ruler of the Ottoman Empire, and he was having nightmares. You can read this up on Wikipedia, that he for 16 years had dreams of lions chasing him. And finally, in the dream, it caught up with him. He goes, "What can I do to keep from being destroyed?" And he goes, "Build the walls of Jerusalem." And so in that year, 1535, they built the wall of Jerusalem. And then another historical date that I want to bring up. Oh, and just for math's sake, that in 1535, if you take the year 2018 from 1535, from the day that they built that wall, there's been exactly 483 years. And then there was another group. I can pull this up. Tim Foster pulled this up, and he's got a good channel. He's one that kind of, I go, wow, that's kind of epic. So after the 6-Day War of 1967, there was a institute that got together and got all the contractors together to rebuild the cities of Jerusalem. And that year occurred in 1949. So it kind of reminds me of the Daniel's 70 prophecy thing, because from the time that, what was his name? Prince of Persia said, Artaxerxes said, go and build the temple, that they built the temple. And for 483 years later, the temple was built, and the Lord walked into it and fulfilled prophecy. And just so you know, that 483 years is 77s. So in other words, you got to break this down in what was called weeks of years. So the first week of year, it was, I wish I had a chart. So the first week of years is 7 times 7 is 49. Okay. So if we go back 49 years, we would land in 1969. Now, I don't even know what month we're talking about. Just say 1969. So that was 49 years ago. And then we get 62 or 434 years later, or if you take 62 times 7, you get 434. You're going to land on 1535. So it's like two things have happened. That's a total of 69 weeks of years, just like it was in the ancient world, but backwards. Because in the first week of years in the prophecy of Daniel, it took him 49 years to build the wall, and 62 more weeks of years to actually have the temple built and fulfill prophecy. So here we have 69 weeks of years in the Old Testament, and now we're seeing it in our time. So I'm not setting dates. I am just simply talking about hours, and I'm just talking about dates. We're going to get into that more later. I wasn't really prepared to touch on that at this point.
Yeah, that's some. It's pretty.
It's pretty epic, though.
Yeah, so, pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah, just the timeline. It's really stunning about building the wall. So if you study Daniel's prophecy, we could, if you really have the time for it, it'd probably be easier to visit Tim Foster's channel and pull that up there, because he's got it all worked out with graphs and stuff, and you kind of get it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. You need to sit down with a calculator, though. You have to have a calculator on hand.
Yeah, because I'm trying to talk math to you, and it's probably confusing to talk about this stuff. But yeah, just go get a calculator, though. It's kind of cool that this had landed like that.
Yeah, I'm just showing people a few photographs of actual cold hard evidence, man. It's out there. Jeff and myself and Dr. Albers and they're
planet. We caught that on multiple ways.
Yeah, we do our homework, man. We definitely do our homework, and we put the hours in. I mean, listen, I have a complete network here at my home office. I have multiple computers going 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. My office is so hot from all of the computer equipment. I literally have to run 2 fans, and even now that it's wintertime, my office is about 15 degrees hotter than the rest of my house. And I keep track of everything. I keep track of all of the earthquake activity. I keep track of the weather. I have, information coming in from the SDO, from Stereo, from Sechi. I have it coming in from everywhere. And I analyze all of it on a daily basis. And, my days literally consist of only getting about, 3 hours of sleep here, 3 hours of sleep there. And I also run the new MFA media group, our new news and media outlet, and it's doing very, very well. We have over 20,000 followers already on Facebook. We have a brand new website, and we're going after the truth in news. And look, I'm a stone cold hard truther. I want to know the truth about everything. I want to know the truth about Bigfoot. I want to know the truth about UFOs. I want to know the truth about 9/11. I want to know the truth about our planet. I want to know the truth about Planet X. I want to know the truth about everything. Why? Because I think all of us deserve the truth. It's almost like the minute you're born, they start lying to you. From the first breath that you take on this planet, they feed you spoonfuls of lies.
Yeah, we've been lied to about everything from the molecular to the galactic. I mean, the way that energy is, the way that we all kinds of science, well, they held on to the real truth. They burned the Library of Alexander, and we're left trying to figure it out. And we're telling, oh, this is these Egyptian pyramids are just tombs. That's what we were told.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think so, man. I think that was a massive power source, and still is.
Knowledge is power. So if they control the knowledge, they're ahead of it. And they didn't. They're way ahead of Tesla. They have stuff that even still blows me away. I really do believe they do time travel. I mean, that just explains everything. I look at Donald Trump, how they can see through time and start calling the shots.
Yeah. Especially on The Simpsons.
Over and over again. In fact, one of the guys that was being interviewed, he was saying, so how does this work? And he goes, I'm not really a techie, but the science behind it, what really gave me chills, and you guys get that, right? The chills of truth. And he started talking about Walter Russell, something about space energy. And it was like in the cubic wave fields. And I was like, man, I followed that for a long time. And that made perfect sense. I go, man, this guy's spot on. We start talking scalar energy and this Tesla, and what Tesla really had a deep understanding of the wave functions and the way that they were messing with it with just simple high powered electricity.
Yeah, I love Tesla. I wish he would have never been.
I think he was dropped in our time zone. I don't think he was from our time.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Or they had people from above us that, I mean, not from ahead of us in time, that was he got told all this stuff, and or he's just straight up from the future, because he was so far ahead of us that it was just beyond. Who would have thought that he had a deep understanding of wireless technology?
I know, right? But and you could go back further and talk about Leonardo da Vinci. Wow.
Right.
Back in his time. Oh my. The things that the drawings and the schematics and the blueprints that he came up with in his time is spectacular.
Hey, another good truther, I don't believe in his religious beliefs, but if you guys watch Michael Tellinger's videos on the ancient technology, he is freaking awesome. But he starts going off on religion that I just disagree with. But as far as like scalar technology and vibrations and ring stones, and that stuff is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That he was showing like exactly how these things ring and see. Just touching off, not basically staying on the same topic, but you guys familiar with the mystery spot in California, the gravity phenomenon?
Yeah.
Okay, so I followed
a documentary on that. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, I actually believe that there is like these energy ring stones actually underneath it, and that would explain why they could never actually find it, no matter how far they dug. That around these energy centers that they had, that everything that happened on these energy centers that Michael Tellinger spotted is the exact same nature, that the temperature was cooler on the inside. It threw the compasses off. Gravity felt weird, everything. And he called it like a vortex. And I remember I was there in the early times before the mystery spot was even popular. They didn't know it was a vortex. There's a redwood tree in the middle that's growing up in a spiral. Well, who's ever seen a spiral?
I watched a documentary on that, and I was blown away. By the end of the documentary, I was blown away by that. Yeah, that would be one place that I would like to visit.
All I can think of is the Schumann resonance of the Earth are vibrating these stones in a certain configuration. They're amplifying that signal straight back up through that cone, and that was an energy center that got buried under a flood, and then the trees grew over the top of it, and that's it. And so they're just sitting on an ancient energy site that was projecting that energy, probably the same kind of energy you felt if you were sitting on top of the pyramids of Egypt.
Yeah, I often wonder about Egypt. I like watching documentaries on Egypt. I find it absolutely intriguing. People back in those ancient times and what they were able to achieve. And I'll be quite frank, I don't believe that they were able to achieve building those pyramids by themselves with just their little ancient technology.
The way that they carved it out, they finally came to reality that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
They were too big, they were too perfect.
Yeah,
you just go grab a 1-inch chisel and try and make even a 1 foot smooth cut on any stone. Just go ahead and try it. That thing's gonna wave all over the place. Not even Leonardo da Vinci or any artist could ever carve a stone so perfect for so long. It was smooth, the entire surface, bored smooth. You know that those were vibrated in place. That's what they were. And that's what Michael Tellinger touches on. They sent a fundamental frequency wave through it at 2 different angles, and it converged in the middle, and then the thing just literally vibrated, changing its mass into energy, and they could just basically lifted it up.
Yeah, I find the ancient technology really, really fascinating, and I believe that there is so much of ancient history that I know the governments know about, and they have probably hidden, just like the hidden skeletons of giants hidden in the basement of the Smithsonian Institute. Well, now we know that there were giants on this planet. Some of them 15, 20 feet tall.
Right.
So it's very sad that we can't actually have the truth. Oh, that's a funny picture. Here's all the players. But yeah, it is a shame that we can't have the truth. And people like myself and you, Dr. Albers, and many, many others who are actually out there trying to find the truth, you get ridiculed, you get threatened, the whole 9 yards. It really doesn't bother me too much anymore, you know. But there's all kinds of crazy things in the sky every single day.
You ever watch the footage of the guy who took beetle wings and made a levitation device?
Yeah. I just watched that the other day. I'm surprised that you mentioned that. I just watched that clip again the other day. That was truly amazing.
Yeah, that just tells me that we see the vibrational pattern, the Schumann resonance of the Earth vibrate through those channels naturally, and they show like this cone-like nature of the hollow dielectric beetles or even birds. And then there's little smaller cones that come off of each one of those, and it sets up like this electric field around the entire animal and just levitates. And we've seen like beetles fly, all they flap their wings up and down, and mankind tried to create flying devices, and it was kind of hilarious. It wasn't just the flapping up and down, it was a vibration that they missed. They didn't see it that way, so they built these giant wings and flapped up and down. It was kind of funny watching some of the earliest flying devices trying to reproduce what a bird does when it was just a vibration.
Yeah, I was actually watching a documentary earlier this afternoon. They were talking about skeletal remains, a fossil that they found, one of the first birds, prehistoric, and they were able to extract DNA from the fossilized bones, and some of the some of the DNA matched up with our modern chickens. So, our little chickens that we love so much to deep fry and go to Kentucky Fried Chicken, at one point in time, they were pretty damn big, and they were flying around through the sky, and
right.
they were predators.
When we look at dinosaurs too, we could see the fossils of like a brontosaurus, this massive animal, hundreds of times bigger than a horse, yet has the nostril diameter of a horse.
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute. What does that say about the old world they lived in?
Yeah, and they had to, I think they had to get rid of the dinosaurs. We are always hit with the theory that the dinosaurs were wiped out by an asteroid blast 65 million years ago. You notice how they always come up with that same year, 65 million years ago. You can watch any documentary on the History Channel or the Smithsonian Channel or the Science Channel.
Finally chose a 6. Why not a 7, like a god number?
Yeah, right.
Like 666 million years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, a little side note about time travel, touching on this topic. I may mention a video. I was watching the movie Soylent Green. If you guys remember that movie, and in the theory, the whole planet was overpopulated because of the lack of food. And 22 minutes into the video, the old man in the video gets 2 volumes of books out, and he sets it on there, and the dates, it goes Soylent Green Oceanography Study from the years, get this, 2015 to 2019.
2015 to 2019.
Yep. So go watch the movie on Netflix. Fast forward to 22 minutes when the guy busts out those 2 old books. Of all the years he could have thrown down, he just picks them. And remember, this movie came out in 1973.
Ooh, I'm going to have to watch that.
So watch that when you're like, what was going to happen in the years 2015 to 2019? And I've always seen people that watch this system come in, and they could never give an exact date because of its crazy orbit. So they always gave it a range of years. They try and calculate its speed, but just like they look at the comets, the NEOs, they don't know. It's it's going to come between this time and that time. There's too many orbital mechanics to look at. which the one that we've been told is BS anyways. This is an electric universe.
Yeah, exactly. I
But I
agree.
think that's very interesting. Maybe they saw it through the chronovision. They saw that the water and everything was different. They saw Donald Trump. They made the Donald Trump cards, The Simpsons. Remember, this technology has been out since 1970. If that's true, that certainly explains a lot of these predictive programmings ever since then.
Oh, there's no doubt the predictive programming. Oh man, I can't stand it. And they do so much of it now. Um, just people just fall prey to it. They really don't have a choice.
We should play the Sun Simulator commercial.
Oh yeah, that was
yeah, play it, man.
I don't have it. I don't have it on this computer here.
I'll send you the link in the chat room. I think Sun Simulator.
What about the one Honda commercial where they show the pole flip? You ever see that commercial?
No.
Yeah, they came out with that. I think this past summer or maybe even last year. But what I have up on the screen now, folks, this is the information coming out of Africa, and again, this is dealing with the Suswa Rift, and this is literally cracking the strongest continent that we have on this planet. And the strongest continent on this planet is the continent of Africa. And even the strongest continent on this planet is cracking. It is cracking wide open. And this isn't just something that started yesterday. We've been documenting this now since 2016, 17, and 18. These big, gigantic rifts are opening up all around the world.
Okay. Yeah, I could see a holographic Nibiru doing this.
Yeah. And if any of you are listening to people on YouTube that are claiming that, excuse me, mythological planet Nibiru is a hologram, just turn the channel. Because that is just nothing more than
pure entertainment.
We're trying to deal in cold, hard facts by showing you what is actually happening, what is happening to our planet.
But why now, right? Why now? Why in the last 3 or 4 years this is happening?
Yeah, I mean, just like I said back in 2016, I spelled it out for everybody. And I said, these are the steps, and this is how these things are going to occur. Now, I will be honest with you. I did not think that going into 2018 and almost into 2019, I didn't think that we would be in this much of a progressive level. But it just seems that things are progressing very, very rapidly. And I do think that governments around the world are scrambling. I think that they really don't know what to do. I think there is a lot of credibility in the so-called conspiracies of New World Order and globalists and things of that nature, because I don't think they know what to do. And remember, we outnumber them. We outnumber them and all of their militaries. Now, yes, they do have pretty sophisticated weaponry, and they could probably do some serious damage to our populations. But I think that they don't want that type of fight.
Yeah, I sent you the link to that commercial in the Hangouts chat and in the other.
Let me grab it real quick.
By the way, I uploaded it. I did not get a copyright strike, so don't worry about it. This is some funny stuff, right? Now, I don't know if you get any more predictive programming than this, but I think this implies the 3 days of darkness.
Everybody hear that?
There we go. Now I hear it. Pause it when it gets to this. Shows the wattage of the light bulb. Right there. Oh man.
I have to turn it all the way up.
Yeah. It's more video.
Ready and go.
Ah.
174 quadrillion watts. What a nice light bulb.
Everyone thousands of electricals. You can be sure of a better tomorrow.
AO.
Let's watch that again.
Yeah, pause on that 174 quadrillion watt power. You should make that the thumbnail for this video. Come on, man. I don't think it's getting more ridiculous, right? I think some people think that they're mocking us, you know, but I think it's more predictive programming. I was like, look at the comments of that commercial. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, because you're used to seeing it. If you're seeing it on television and social media,
you've heard it enough times. You think they finally got a commercial to make fun of it? No, I think it's actual predictive programming.
Yeah. 174 quadrillion watts. The sun in a box. Yeah.
I always wonder if there's some cryptic messages on there. G2V.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this link in the live chat. You guys can check it out. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's called Delivering Tomorrow. That's
real.
That's
oh, wait a minute. Did I put the right? Yeah, I put the right link in there. Yeah. Let me do something here real quick. Do. Where is the? Oh, here was the report on the climate change when they came out with this. But what I wanted to do real quick, I wanted to jump over here real quick to planetxnews.org. Oh, let me get out of here real quick. Put up some pretty interesting articles here today. And I don't know if any of you remember 2 weeks ago, I was kind of warning everybody in Australia that, you know, your weather was about to turn for the worse. And the next thing you know, they're getting blasted with massive heat waves. And then, you know, they get blasted with a whole bunch of rain. And then in Queensland, fires. So they're getting hit with it left and right. We see what's happening here in California right after the fires. A massive Pacific storm comes in, wipes out everything, torrential downpours of rain, rock slides, mud slides, you know, the whole 9 yards. This article right here, I want to bring up my man Blue Kool-Aid. He was he was supposed to be on here with us tonight, but he actually had to work a little late. He was showing some video information from the SECI, and we normally see this twice a year. And I've been pondering on this subject matter for quite some time. And what he was referring to once again was this large, what seems to be like a plasma loop coming from Venus over here. And there's Mercury, here's the sun, and here's Venus's, what I refer to as a magnetotail, because Venus doesn't have a magnetosphere like the Earth does. But we see this anomaly. Let me go ahead and open it up all the way. We see this anomaly about twice a year with Venus. And a lot of people since 2016 have been asking, why is Venus so bright? Why is Venus so bright? Why is Venus so bright? There's a lot of things going on with Venus. And I think what is happening to create this type of effect is that whenever Venus is literally passing through the very strong magnetic field of Planet X, we are getting this type of reaction from Venus, because Venus doesn't have a magnetic field like planet Earth. And this is the effect that we're getting. And I go into very, very specific scientific detail in this article why this is happening. And, Mark over at Blue Kool-Aid, he was going into explaining or trying to explain some of this. And whenever I was watching his video, all of a sudden, it just dawned on me. It just hit me why this happens. And again, we're talking about interactions between very, very strong magnetic fields from the sun, from planet X, and then Earth is not too far away from Venus, and bingo. But here's the rest of the video from the H1A. I'll let it play a couple of times so you guys can see it. You can see Mercury passing by. Mercury's not going to cause that effect on Venus.
Nope.
And I was actually able to find some abstract papers that were published just a few years ago. And they didn't just come out and say that something was invoking this reaction on Venus, but in a roundabout way, they were stating that the influx of another very strong magnetic field would produce this.
Exactly.
And it sure as hell ain't coming from little Mercury.
Yep. We've seen the bird reaction of in Texas. Remember that? Last March? You saw my last video, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those are old. MB3 was catching this. What would cause the entire state of Texas, all the birds, to want to hit the ground and not even want to fly?
Yeah.
Let's just eliminate the possibilities. Was it HAARP? Well, I think we can actually eliminate that one because HAARP has always been here. So that should have been happening all the time. Number 2, was it the 5G network? No. Why? Because the 5G network, it's the cell phone. It's just replacing the 4G network. When it's on, it stays on.
Yeah.
So once that thing turns on, the effects will be felt permanent. It's not off and on. So the birds will be permanently affected, not just one day or a week.
Yeah.
You can scratch that. Was it CERN? No, because that's been there for a long time and it should match well as CERN experience. That's not happening. So what do you think?
So this video that I have up here now, this is an illustration of what we were just looking at on the H1, but it's in the opposite direction. So you can see that Venus is being hit with a combination of the sun's solar wind and another very high level magnetic field. So whenever this is impacting Venus from the front side here, this on the tail side is what is creating that magnetotail.
Hey, I got a good one for you. It was pretty interesting for a demonstration, but remember those stellar cores you guys show?
Mm-hmm.
And we had one, like the best footage of it, like showing like a spiraling like cone of energy siphoning off the energy of the sun. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we live in the electric universe, and we see this spiraling cone of energy not taking up a large point, but a very pinpoint place. And you pull up the footage from the 14 million trees that were suddenly destroyed, and they blamed that on a storm.
Yeah. What was that in Italy?
That was in Italy.
Yeah.
They called it a flood. But catch this. Remember, those were very tall trees, densely populated forests, and
that was
right in the center.
Crazy.
Come on, man. I'm telling you, that was a vortex coming down.
Absolutely. Dr. Albers agreed.
And so
absolutely.
and I've had people I'm not saying they're really debunkers, but they're filled with the lamestream science that, oh, if it was that close, the whole Earth would have felt it. No, this is the kind of energy that we came to. Anybody, just go watch ancient skies from Thunderbolt Project. That the ancients saw what they saw in the sky, these thunderbolts that were coming down, these stair-step patterns. And I show you the footage. When this thing gets closer, we're going to start feeling the electrical effects of it. These beams of light. No, that's not going to be Project Proving.
I think that's possibly happening now.
It is happening now.
Yeah. There's no doubt about it. Earlier in our broadcast, folks, I was talking about the information that was just coming out and released by NASA. And NASA has announced new partnerships for commercial lunar payload delivery services, some fancy ass name. And they are going to be probably trying to mine the moon for some resources that they know are there. And I was mentioning the companies. And I mentioned one of the companies is right here where I live in Pittsburgh, Astrobotic Technologies Incorporated. These are the 9 companies that won the contracts with NASA. And in a very, very short amount of time, they are going to be up there and they are going to be kind of colonizing the moon. And I don't know, maybe they made friends with the aliens that inhabit the moon. We will find out, but they already have put together vehicles and different types of operations that are going to be conducted on the moon. And all of the articles, folks, they're all right here on planetxnews.org. I put up a bunch of information up here every single day that I think is pertinent. Some of the things that, kind of touch my fancy. About high-tech search company claims to have found Atlantis. These aren't BS articles. It's actually true science. And this was pretty interesting over here, too. The blood moon myths and conspiracy theories. And this touches on all of the blood moon conspiracies, from the Indians to this race, to that race, to this religion, to that religion, and kind of outlines all of it. But there's tons of information up here that is it's readily available for all of you guys. And listen, don't forget, on my website, I put all of the research links that I use on a daily basis. Okay, so if you guys don't know how to go out there and find them, just zip on over to planetxnews.org, pan down to the research links, and you have all of them right here. Everything is right here. I may add a few more. This is pretty much what I use to monitor everything. It's all right here. And right below, it's a pretty cool feature. This is a live chat. And all you have to do is just click right there. You could log in using your Facebook account. Doesn't send me any information, just it logs you right in. And you could sit there and you could have a live chat with a bunch of people. I do have to increase this to 100 people. You could share photographs. You could share links. You could talk about your research. You could talk about current events. You could talk about whatever you want. And there's all kinds of information up here, folks. Every single day, I spend hours gathering information from around the world that I think is pertinent, that we should all know about and understand. And check this out. Whenever we do our live streams, if you don't want to watch it on YouTube, you can come right over here to the bottom of the website and our live streams appear right there. Ain't that cool?
That's cool.
So that's where we're at right now. But definitely check it out, folks. planetxnews.org. Jeff, do you have a website yet or no?
No.
No, we're going to have to get you one. We're going to have to get you one built. I'll put the link in the description box over there, and you guys can check it out. Jeff, look, man, it's definitely been a pleasure once again having you on. And let me get back to my screen over
been
here.
Working with you too, man. We threw out some freaking incredible footage today, like unbelievable. And it's nice that we could share this information in a big way without copyrights and all the garbage and get along.
Yeah, exactly. Folks, there are so many people out there on YouTube and on Facebook and on Twitter, and all they do is, they run around and they pretty much like, just steal people's information. And look, like I've said before, I never was looking for fame and fortune doing this type of work. I wanted answers. And then I got to the point where I was getting answers from the research and the investigations that I was conducting. And I just felt that it was time for everybody else to have the opportunity to know what is happening, because it's very, very serious. There are people out there that will take your information, they'll claim it as their own, and they will twist things.
You notice when I posted, I mentioned your name, and I've always, I have my own personal discoveries, but if I find someone else, I always try to say, hey, it's such and such video. Look what I found on such and such video. I'm not going to just snatch it like it was my own personal discovery,
Yeah, I mean, what bothers me is when people,
and if they did, I would still be quiet. I wouldn't do a copyright strike. That's just who I am.
Yeah, I mean, what bothers me is
I would be upset with them, and but I'm not going to copyright strike somebody. The truth.
Yeah, I mean, what bothers me is when people take the information and they twist it. And I just had an occurrence a few hours before we went on the air, and I have this guy over in Germany who's a complete jerk off, and he's looking for the rock star status, and he wants everybody to believe that he is this premier investigative researcher. Sure. And in fact, he's just pretty much a nobody. But he was stealing photographs of mine and many, many other people and putting them out there on Facebook and claiming that these were his discoveries. So he's looking for that stardom. And let me tell you, folks, straight up, there is no stardom in what we do. It can be very dangerous. I don't think that the dangerous part is over yet. Now, through the course of time, there have been many scientists that have been killed, had kind of freak accidents, things of that nature. But I think we're too far gone now for government agencies to be whacking us, to shut us up, because now there are probably hundreds of thousands of people out there that are sharing our articles and videos and our information, and they're doing their own homework. And with the power of social media, even though they censor me very bad, even though they do that, we still reach people. So the best thing they could do is try to discredit you. And we know they do that through their little troll operations. That's a fact. But
my acronym for troll, right?
Yeah, I saw that a couple times in the live chat.
Truth resisting, organized, lying, loser fearings.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. We should make a shirt like that.
Yeah,
on Teespring. Troll baby.
One for FEMA too, right?
Yeah.
Federal Execution Management Agency.
Oh my God. Yeah. We got to make some shirts on these, man. Get them out there just before Christmas. But anyways, folks, we're going to go ahead and end this live stream. I have a ton of work to do for our MFA media group. I've got to get back into the political news to see what's happening. And we're going to keep a close eye on what's happening in Alaska. I want to just say this for all of you that support our YouTube channels and our Facebook pages and our websites. and personally support each of us. I greatly appreciate it. I know Jeff does also.
I couldn't do it without you guys. Your help,
there's
prayers, everything, man, because we don't feel like we're appreciated, man. I many times wanted to walk away from YouTube. I never had dreamed that I would get where I'm at now.
Yeah, about once a year I have the same feeling, but like I've said before, if I would turn my back now, I really wouldn't be able to sleep at night, because I would be doing
man, I can't get out of it.
Yeah, I'd be doing a very, very big disservice to everyone who has counted on myself and Dr. Albers and Jeff P. for the critical information and the understanding of what is actually happening. And I do think now, folks, I do think now is the time to start to prepare yourself for more drastic times. You have to understand something now. Things are not ever going to get any better in your lifetime. It's just, you're going to have to come to that realization. We're not going to wake up tomorrow and this whole climate change scenario is going to be gone. That's not reality. And we can very clearly see what is happening. And nobody, like the governments, are giving you any answers. They're giving you smoke and mirrors. So please share our videos, share our articles, get over to the website, read these articles.
Yeah, we could copy and paste the title of our videos and the link to a video and throw it on your favorite channels.
Yeah, I mean, at least read the information, okay? I know a lot of people are just like, they just like to click, 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 click. Ooh, the title looks good. Let me share that. But what you need to do is you need to actually read the information, because reading the information helps you to absorb it and hopefully understand it. And keep on paying attention. Keep your eyes in the skies. Everybody has a cell phone. If you see something strange, take a photograph of it and publicize it. Get it out there. Let people see it.
Yeah. And you'd be surprised what cameras catch that your eyes aren't going to see. So take a picture. If something looks a little bit weird about the sun or something, please, videos are always more preferred than photos, because it's really hard. If someone just took a snapshot, I would not have made a video over. Hey, thank you, Sherry. Appreciate you always sharing on Facebook. She is just a warrior out there. She's like on fire, man. Just need more people like her out there. I know there's more out there. I'm sorry I don't call out your name, but you know who you are. You guys are on fire for this stuff.
Yeah, Sherry Lynn. Yeah, all of these people that I mean, they're a great big help.
Brad White, thank you so much. David, every one of you guys that's listening, man, just thank you for hanging with us for this whole conversation. Just awesome.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I mean, it's one big family. It's one big team. And I have followers all over the world, man. I get messages and emails from China. I get them from Russia. I get them from all of the Eastern European countries. I get them from Indonesia. I get them from Vietnam. I get them from all over South America. I get inbox messages and emails from all over the world. I even get them from the little country of Iceland. I get them from everywhere. And it does make me happy that people are waking up. But myself and Jeff, Dr. Albers, other researchers, we can't do it all on our own. It is the network that we're forming through all of you that literally spread the word, spread the information. The only thing they can do to stop us, folks, is to shut down the internet. But then you know what? We'll go back to ancient times with the Indians and we'll start sending smoke signals.
Yeah. Good luck spreading information as fast as we can.
Oh, you know what? That's not going to work, because the smoke signals are going to get mixed up in the chemtrails. So that would be like a bogus autocorrect when you're typing something in. But anyways, folks, Jeff, any last words for everybody before we cut off?
Yeah, just keep praying for us, keep sharing the good word, stay on fire. And again, thank you for everybody that showed up, including the trolls. Imagine that. Nah. No, seriously,
man,
thank you though.
In due time,
spreading the word, and even if they think they are, because they're putting my name in a negative light, but it throws it on the database, and now I'm more famous. So,
yeah. I've told these trolls for years, all you do is make me more well known. So have at it and do what you got to do, and I'm going to do
the higher troll channel. When he trolled me and we did that little live stream, man, I like 2,000 subs in one day.
Yep.
So.
Absolutely.
Keep sending my channel. Show people what an idiot I am. Show my last video and tell me I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I've been called every name in the book, and
everything, right? I mean,
yeah, man.
Everything. Psychopath, drug addicts, mom. People who don't have jobs, live in mommy's basements, eating peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah, I use that terminology too sometimes. But yeah, I've even been called names that I've never even heard before, like in different languages and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying, you guys been spared from that. I blocked those kind of people, but it's so foul. Threats. It takes a lot of courage to be one of the first people to come up and go, yeah, there's a sun simulator. Yeah, right. I got to be that lunatic for the first few years before people finally catch on,
Hey, like I tell them before, man, I've been telling them for years. I mean, if you think that you're that much of a Billy badass, just come knock on my door. We can talk man to man, and we'll see what happens.
Nutless wonders.
Yeah, nutless wonders. Yeah. But anyways, folks, we're gonna go ahead and cut out of here. I have a shitload of work to do, and I'll probably be up half the night getting all this done. But it was great having Jeff P on here. Mark from Blue Kool-Aid, he was supposed to join us, but he got tied up at work, and I really appreciate the work that he's doing. And if we get a decent group of people that actually are trying to show the truth, I think that we can continue doing some live streams and bring these folks on, because for a long time now, I've wanted to hear from you guys, and I wouldn't mind, taking the opportunity to, bring one or two of you on to one of our live streams.
Yeah.
And talk to us, man. Tell us what you think. Tell us what brought you to the point where you are now. And I'd love to hear your opinions. I would love to be able to give all of you a voice. And listen, YouTube is for everybody. If you guys have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube account. Okay. If you're making videos or taking some video footage, put it up on YouTube. Get it out there.
Yeah.
Share it on social media. Don't be
the best way. And then you can just tell us to come check out our video, and it's so easily shared than trying to send someone an MP4 file and download it. And you got on your computer. If you've got it on YouTube, it's so much easier to do that. I've actually got a video deep in my archives that shows you how to do it for free. Download the screencaster from Google. It's a little extension you can do. You can find out about how to install it on YouTube yourself if you want to just find out. So you don't have to get your camera out and take pictures of your laptop. You can actually download a free screencaster.
Yeah, they're out there, man. I mean, there's a bunch of little technologies that are out there, and I've got some expensive stuff that I've invested in, but I mean, I need it to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that there are lies in the skies, baby. That's a fact. But anyways, folks, I'm going to go ahead and cut out of here. I've got a ton of work to do. And Jeff, it was great talking with you again. And maybe tomorrow I'm going to check with Mark and see what his schedule will be. And maybe we can get you, me, and Blue Kool-Aid and Dr. Albers, and we will jump on here, do another live stream. And listen, folks, if any of you want to do a live stream with me, a couple of you, and we could sit down and talk about some issues, shoot me an inbox message on my Facebook page, or shoot me an email. Our email address is in the description box, but I see it a lot quicker. If you inbox me on Planet X News or inbox me personally, I'll see it a lot faster because I get 500-600 emails a day. It takes me sometimes a month to get through all of them.
Yeah.
And maybe we could start to have this bigger collaboration between all of us. And again, I'd like to hear from all of you. And that's the main thing. Continuing with our network, expanding it to the point where it is unstoppable until they turn the internet switch right the hell off. Anyways, Jeff, great having you. Give me a holler tomorrow, man. Shoot me a text message, and we'll schedule something for tomorrow if you're not busy. And ladies and gentlemen, be very, very safe out there. Continue to watch your weather. The weather is now going to become your enemy. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. Keep an eye in the sky. Be safe, everybody. Jeff, take care. I will talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Folks, I'm signing off. Be safe out there. Take care.
Good night. Good night.